Okay, today I'm making a short video about what weights you should buy if you first start weightlifting. I was working as a school teacher here in Beijing, and I decided to buy some weights just so I had some exercise to do something, and I thought it'd be fun. I've never done weightlifting before in my life. So I didn't really know what to do, what to buy and everything. So of course I'd done a bit of research, and then I bought things based on price, and I kind of made a mistake, I think, for me. So my first thing I did was I bought this short bar here. It's a 5-foot bar. The bar itself only weighs 8 kilos, and I thought to myself, it's good enough, that'll do, because I can't lift that much anyway, so that's what I'll get. So I bought that, and then I just bought 2 small stands so I could do squats from that and everything. And then I was doing like bench presses, but I was like literally just laying on the ground and pressing it from the ground. Very soon I could easily lift the weight which I could fit on this bar. So I decided I needed a bigger bar. So then I bought this bar here, which is a 7-foot bar, which was good for a little while, but problem was this only has a short amount too. I could only fit like 1 extra weight on it. So to get around that, what I've done is I actually got a grinder, and I ground the stops off so I could slide the weights further up. So these are the these are the stops here. So I just got a grinder and I ground that flush so the bar, so I could fit more weights on it. So as you can see, I'll just slide this down a bit. I gave myself an extra, like 150 odd mil. I could put more weights on. And then I bought some of these things here, these little clip things, and I just put one of them there because all it needs to do is stop the weight from sliding further on the bar, and that does it. So that was my next thing. And of course, the bar I had to buy had to suit my weights. And I bought these weights here based on price because they were cheap, and they've got a 30mm hole. So I had to buy a 30mm or 35mm maybe. So I had to buy a 30mm bar as well to match all the weights I'd already bought. This became my second problem, because although even moving this down and fitting more weight, give it another year, I could lift all the weight on this bar as well. I'm lifting like 180 odd kilos. So now this bar here is starting to run out of room. Now, one of my problems is these are 15-kilo weights. So the company which makes these with the small hole does them in a 15 is their biggest one. When you go to 20-kilo weights, they have the 50mm hole to suit the Olympic bar. So honestly speaking, yes, I probably shouldn't have looked at the price when I first started, and I should have thought about the future. Now I realise I probably should have bought an Olympic bar and bought Olympic weights in the first place. I just didn't expect to be lifting heavier weights, and I didn't expect to progress this far. I was thinking when I first started, gee, if I could squat 80, 100 kilos, that would be fantastic. But now I'm squatting over 180 kilos. It's starting to become a bit of a pain with these weights. So I'm going to look at maybe buying bigger weights and then putting a sleeve inside the hole. So getting the 50mm weights, but then maybe getting some plastic sleeves or something and gluing them inside to bring it down to the 30mm hole, so that way they can't move around that much. So that's my next option at the moment. So, and the other thing, I first started lifting just using 2 little stands for squats, but once I got over like to 140, 150 kilo squats, I realised it was getting quite dangerous, especially when I've got kids here as well, if I do drop it and it rolls. So then I went out and bought this squat rack, which I think is the best investment I've ever bought. I think it's just really, really good. They are cheap and it just makes it so much safer. And when I am lifting now, I feel a lot more confident, because if I do drop it, I know that it's going to land on the safety bars. When I'm doing my bench presses too now, I know if it gets too heavy, if I had to, I could just let it drop onto the safety bars. So yeah, I think if someone's thinking of starting weightlifting, I think your probably best bet, if you're going to set up a home gym, is buy good equipment straight away. Don't just think about the price and go, oh, I'll buy the cheaper ones. I mean, unless you're just doing it for a bit of fun and like you've got no plan of actually ever getting to high weights. But like with me, Nancy, like with me, now I'm lifting so much heavier, these weights are kind of a little bit too amateurish, just because of the fact that, yeah, I keep having to modify everything. So, but they're good for kids to sit on and play with, so yeah, so that's my thoughts on if you start weightlifting. Get an Olympic bar straight up. I read that and I just kind of didn't believe it. I didn't think I'd ever lift that heavy, so, but I think it's worthwhile getting an Olympic bar and then getting weights with a 50mm hole. And I think that will be a lot better in the long run. Okay, that's all for this video. Have a great day.